Shri Tripura Rahasyam MahatmyaKhandam, Chapter 60. Hearing the narration by Haritayana, which was a demonstration of his self-experience, the extremely pleased Narada said thus: O Haritayana, you have very well narrated the ancient glory of the Devi, which was lingering within and without my mind. Though the legend is ancient, your verbatim methodic exposition has envisaged an internal experience in me. You are really blessed on this earth because, by the grace of the Supreme Devi, you have known the ins and outs of her glory. Therefore, I will seek an answer from you about a doubt that is hidden in me over the years. How did you get to know about the ancient facts, both open and hidden, O disciplined one? How are you aware of the unseen and unheard incidents? Hearing Narada, Haritayana smiled and said thus: O divine seer, listen. What has been narrated is very scanty. You will know the reason for this later. Just like people remember their experiences, I too recollect the past. By the grace of Brahma, I can see the ins and outs. By your grace and the blessings of the Devi, I can recollect without distortion the past as if it is present experience. Then Guru Dattatreya said to Parashurama, who was hearing with concentration thus: O Parashurama, listen. Subsequently, Hayagriva narrated the incident of the wonderful war between Bhandasura and the Devi to Agastya. O sage Agastya, listen. Seeing the uniquely beautiful Lalita Parameshwari, Indra, and other gods thought within themselves that this young girl, who is the abode of universal beauty, lacks grandeur without a consort, just like a creeper without a support. Knowing the thoughts of the gods, Brahma and others, born out of the three tendencies, meditated upon Kamesvara, who manifested then and there from her with a form and ornaments matching with the Devi, Mahadevi. Considering him as the suitable husband to the Devi, the gods wished a wedding of those two. Learning about this, Brahma and others, after requesting the Supreme Devi, performed their wedding in a grand manner. Then, requested by the gods, Lalita Parameshwari created by her mental wish a retinue and the group of deities connected with the enclosures of Sri Chakra to kill Bhandasura. At that time, the divine sage Narada arrived at the feet of the Devi. After prostrating before her and praising her with many hymns, he spoke to her humbly with folded hands and bent head. O Devi, I have come from the residence of Bhandasura. He is arriving here with a huge mighty army. I am sent here by the great lord of the demons to convey this message to you. You weak woman, with whose support are you wanting to fight with me? Without knowing about my strength, do not get foolishly destroyed. Discarding Brahma and other gods who are cheats and who have been vanquished by me several times, join me. Opposing me, no man or woman can ever be happy, even as in the jaws of death. Saying thus, Narada expressed to the Devi the need for the highest preparation for war, and also said thus: O Devi, I think you are as if defeated by the bold demon. O Devi, permit me quickly to ask you about a secret. Hearing Narada, the Supreme Devi looked at Mantrini, the clever Mantrini, grasping the mind of the Devi, took Narada by holding his hand to a lonely place. There, taking her seat, Mantrini said thus, O Narada, ask about the point in your mind. I know that you are a great devotee of the feet of the Supreme Devi. In fact, there is nothing unknown to you in this world because of your devotion to her. Even then, ask what you want, I will clear your doubt. Ordered thus by Mantrini, the divine sage Narada, with folded palms, sweetly put his questions to her. O Devi, Bhandasura, who was examined by me, really looks like a paramount devotee among us. How will that devotee of the Supreme Devi be defeated? Even then, he has himself told me that he would, after getting killed by the Devi in the war, will stay in her sacred abode for a long period and finally merge in her feet. How is it that such a wicked torturer of the world gets liberated? How can we obtain that state? Please answer me. Thus questioned, Devi Shyamala replied to Narada thus, O Narada, listen to this, though it is a secret. The devotee of Devi Lalita will never perish. He gets the highest place and nothing else. Just like a mother intent on protecting does not give her sick child what it likes, but forcibly feeds the disliked medicine. The Devi, by killing her great mighty devotee who has sinned heavily, will grant him a place at her feet even without employing methods like granting vision, speaking, and using weapons. Let me tell you about this lesson. To one who secretly requests the Devi for anything, she will soon grant it undoubtedly. When once the obstacle for getting a desired object is removed, one will soon secure the desired object. Listen, you are ever liberated, and so liberation is not your desire. Only an ignorant person will have that desire. How does an enlightened one have such desire? Only the imprisoned one aspires for release, just like a hungry person seeks food. How does a contented person desire food, or how can anyone feed him? Can a fulfilled one have the same longing as a wanting person? Tell me, what a person who is complete like the sky can aspire for. Therefore, only the ignorant should desire liberation, and not an omniscient like you. Hearing Mantrini, the happy, ever liberated Narada bowed to her and to Devi Tripura and went away. Then Devi Tripura, requested by Brahma, Vishnu, and others, proceeded along with her army to kill Bhandasura in her chariot, having 9 levels like the Sri Chakra, piled one above the other and well decorated. On the top platform are placed war equipments, impenetrable shields, sharp and fierce missiles and weapons. By her side were standing with folded hands the embodiments of Dhanurveda, the missiles and the weapons. Then one below the other in an order were standing the Shaktis of the enclosures. Even the Gurus desiring to fight were equipped with wonderful shields and missiles. On the right side of the Sri Chakra chariot, Mantrini was seated in a chariot with 7 levels along with her battalion ready to fight. With with revolving eyes caused by the pleasure of drinking liquor and served by Shuka Shyamala and her group Mantrini, set out accompanied by myriads of Matanga Kanyas who were also intoxicated. Her army was keeping her in good humor by singing, dancing, joking, and enacting comedies. Mantrini, the expert in counseling and minister to Devi Lalita, was engaged in suitable advice to the Devi. She was particularly interested in music instruments and love sports. On the left side of the Sri Chakra chariot was seated Varahi Shukaranana in the topmost level of Kiri Chakra chariot having 5 levels. She was surrounded by many Shaktis like Jrembhine. She was the embodiment of anger and very ferocious and liked those who beg her pardon. She always punishes all those engaged in misdeeds. On either sides of her chariot are huge bisons and lions. She was gracefully wielding weapons like plough and pounding rod. She was accompanied by myriad Vatukas and Yoginis. Similarly, the young Vala Tripura Sundari, the daughter of Devi Lalita, was seated in the Laghu Chakra chariot accompanied by a group of powerful Shaktis equal to her. To the right of Bala Tripura Sundari joined Sampatkari seated on a great elephant named Ranakolahala, which was resembling the huge peak of the Vindhya mountain and which was creating three types of terrifying onomatopoeic sounds and which was naturally inebriated. She was wielding the great god. Following her were myriads of intoxicated elephants hailing from Vindhya mountain, Malaya mountain and Pragjyotisha country. They were all well trained in the ways of war and were 60 years of age. Mounted by persons wielding weapons and missiles and experts in warfare, these elephants moved briskly along with the group of Shaktis of Sampatkari. On the left side of Bala, the great Devi Ashwaruda was sitting on a tall, excellent, golden hued horse named Aparajita, which was born in the Gandharva breed and which sped like wind and with auspicious signs like Shukti, Ardha Shukti Mani, Swastik, lotus, and pebbles. It outweighed, outweighed with its characteristics Uchchaishravas, the horse of Indra. Its fine hoof was invisible even to a crafty, careful eye. It had understood the mind of the Devi Ashwaruda and also the movements of the enemy. Following her were innumerable horses from Sindhu, Tankana, Arada, Parvati, Varvara, and Sutejana, with various hued like red, black, white, yellow, brown, pink, green, grey, spotted, and bluish red, and with dense hair. They were well trained to move in various ways, to dance to tunes. They were mounted by Shaktis, wielding varieties of missiles and weapons. They moved forward like the waves of the sea and appeared like splitting the earth by beating with their hoofs. The loud sound generated by beating of the hoofs and neighing of the horses, the loud sound from elephants and roaring of the lions, the clapping on the shoulders, the sound from instruments like drums, cymbals, cow-faced trumpets, and huge trumpets mixed with the sound from the wheels of the Sri Chakra chariot filled all the directions. Hearing the big sound of the procession leading to victory of Sri Lalita Devi, the demons were frightened as if from the god of death. Hearing that sound, Bhandasura, expecting his long desired death from her, quickly got ready to fight. Seeing the demons with faces like dried lotuses and terrified, Bhandasura, filled with compassion, thought within himself thus: these persons, demons, for my sake will die along with their relatives. In this world there is no greater fear than death at any time. With their death, for my sake, their dear children, sisters, and mothers will grieve. Alas, this would be painful. Therefore, I will go first and fight with Sri Lalitambika and get purified by the fire of her weapon and attain my desired end. Why should I cause agony to these demons by separating them from their relatives? Therefore, I should not become the cause of such horrendous death. If a strong person does not protect his subordinates somehow from distress, he will become a sinner. Thus, if I go first and get killed by the Devi, my relatives will suffer the same agony of being bereaved from me. After my death, my relatives will face harassment and shame from the gods and lose their wealth and will be miserable. Hence, this is also not correct. How can a person at the helm of affairs face defeat? After my death, my brothers, children, and other mighty relatives, overcome by valor and anger, would undoubtedly get themselves burned like moths in the fire of war. Then the remaining cowards with less strength would helplessly, like gods, get separated from their wives and children and hide beneath the earth. Mutually grieving, they would be worse than the dead. In any case, it is impossible that the relatives will not suffer. Hence, what is the use of my worrying? The best thing would be this: I will get killed by the Devi after all the demons are killed. I think this is auspicious because of many advantages. Getting killed by the weapons of the gods is purifying and confers stay in heaven. Women and children cannot have this chance. There is no way out. God only should help. Or else I had heard in the past from Brahma that the Supreme Tripura Devi will really fulfill the wants of her devotees. Hence, let her not trouble my group of people. In reality, they do not belong to me, and I do not belong to them. Though I know about this, the Devi is deluding me. Therefore, my worrying is a waste about this world, which is like a dream. Hence, I will completely surrender to her. I will act only according to her command and in no other way. O great Devi, O refuge, protect me who has surrendered to you and save me from the shackles of delusion. Praying thus to Devi Tripura, Bhandasura, seeing the pitiable relatives around him, boldly spoke pleasing words. O demons, listen carefully to my important words. I have no death from anything. I have no death from anything. I am death unto death. I have created before you weapons, missiles, magical experts, and many worlds having moving and non-moving objects. I am the powerful lord of 105 universes. I did not hurry to kill the Devi thinking that she was a woman. Now, seeing her vehement desire to fight, I will easily vanquish her and bring her to my harem and rejoice very much. End of the 60th chapter of the Mahatmya Khandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam. Chapter 61. Saying thus, the great demon with eyes reddened by fury instructed his charioteer, Dirgha Griva, who was nearby, to make ready his chariot. Then the charioteer within no time presented with humility the well equipped excellent chariot to the lord of the demons. The mighty Bhandasura, holding the bow and the arrow, boarded the superb chariot and furiously proceeded to fight. Hearing about seeing the departure of the Lord of the Demons to the war, the angry demons got ready quickly and proceeded. The soldiers, holding weapons, set out in groups surrounding Bhandasura on all sides. The sons of Bhandasura all were equal in might to him. The valor of Kutilaksha, the eldest among them, was immeasurable. All of them, who never failed in war, proceeded Bhandasura, well equipped in their chariots, accompanied by 100 Akshauhini army. His two brothers, Vishanga and Vishokra, with a valor matching that of Vishnu, and who always compete to fight first, moved in their chariots on either sides of Bhandasura. Their eyes were red with anger. Holding a great bow, they looked as if they would swallow the enemies. Each of them had an army of 100 Akshauhini. His powerful ministers Ugrakarma and others followed him with 100 Akshauhini army. When the lord of the demons thus set out for war, the royal roads appeared like a river during rainy season, eroding the banks with vortices of chariots, with obstacles of horses, with crocodiles of elephants, with tortoises of shields, with waves ejecting frothy balls of flags, with serpents of long swords, with fishes of quivers, with lotuses of the faces of demons, with small fishes of their eyes, with swans and other birds of the variegated umbrellas, with many sea horses of high raised billows, and with the gushing noise of the chariot wheels which flowed out of the gem-set city gate like the water diffusing into a field from the canal. The army came out of the gate very quickly. Meanwhile, Vijaya, the minister, quickly went near the demon lord and, seeking his permission, bowed and with folded hands said, "What was appropriate at that time, O king of the demons? Your fame has spread everywhere. The sun of your valor is scorching the universes up above. Vishnu, who is considered as the mightiest, was defeated facing you in war. Therefore, it is certain that no one can conquer you in war. Notwithstanding this, it is the duty of a minister to analyze and give timely advice to the king in accordance with the codes of administration. If he does not express what has to be said on time, then he is unfit to be a minister." Four methods have been said in political science. Each one of them will be suitable under proper circumstances. By listening to the advice of a foolish minister, if the king adopts an unsuitable method, he will be ruined like a patient consuming unwholesome item. It is better to fight after diligent discussion with the intellectuals the information gathered by messengers and spies about the opponent. Therefore, send dependable messengers and spies to the enemy. By the time they return, our army will get ready and we can suitably safeguard the city. I have submitted before my lord what was to be said. It is for you now to act suitably." Hearing the minister, Bhandasura, to satisfy his relatives, accepted his advice as good for the kingdom and divided his army among the army chiefs. He deputed Kutilaksha to guard the city. Bhandasura addressed his able minister Amitragna thus, "O Amitragna, go with my permission and convey my mind to that Lalita. O beautiful Devi, I would never fight with you, who deserve to be protected. Then why have you come to fight with me? Your interest in war is acceptable to me when I am not afraid of a great war. Where is the fear to fight with you? But I am enticed by your charm. Hence, discard the gods and join my group, either by peaceful method or by war. I will bring you under my control. By opposing me, you will definitely suffer. Think about this and quickly decide to join one of the sides. Convey this peacefully to her and return soon after finding out her intention, her strength, and her further course of action. Then Bhandasura said to Vidyunmali, the expert magician, thus, O learned Vidyunmali, O leader of the magicians, go unnoticed and cleverly find out the strength and plans of our army, their weakness and rifts, and return quickly. I know you are competent to do this. Thus ordered, the two demons proceeded to the army of the Devi. Amitragna somehow entered as if by a boat the ocean like endless army which was guarded by Shaktis wielding swords. As soon as he entered, the mighty demon was captured by Kanchanabha, a servant maid of Dandanatha. Slapping him and holding his neck, she angrily scolded him with terrific words. You fellow, who are you who have entered stealthily our army protected by Dandanatha? Having entered the army without the permission of Dandanatha, you will not return alive, just like yourself entering the jaws of death. Meanwhile, hundreds of Shaktis who guard the army as ordered by Dandini arrived there. Dragged and beaten by them, Amitragna became unconscious. Meanwhile, Dandanatha, hearing about the demon, got him to her presence through her maid's understanding that he was the messenger of Bhandasura. He was taken to Mantrini Devi, who in turn took him and reported about him to Goddess Lalita and questioned the purpose of his visit. Amitragna bowed and said thus, I came here as ordered by Bhandasura, and I am his messenger. I will speak out his message. O Devi, there is no enmity between us. Why have you come to fight? Whether you fight or not, you will become my captive. Tell me how I can battle with you, who are pleasing and dear to my heart. Therefore, abandon the gods and take shelter under me. After giving this message, I was asked to find out the strength and weakness of your army. Killing of a messenger is defaming. The learned say that the scriptures forbid killing of a messenger. Thinking thus I entered. Seen by the Shaktis, I was captured by them as soon as I entered, and I am brought before you. Now you are my refuge. Killing me is unethical. Hearing the messenger and understanding the views of Devi Lalita, Mantrini smilingly spoke sweetly thus, O demon, have no fear. Be happy, you will never be killed. Remember my words and convey them to Bhandasura thus. If you desire to leave away your empire and without fear come and surrender to Devi Lalita. Let Indra rule the three worlds and you dwell in the nether region. Along with your children and army, make friends with Indra, otherwise, you will not find relief and you will not live. O Dandanatha, take him away and show him our entire army, and then leave him beyond our army camp. Instructed thus, Varahi, after showing to the demon her army, released him at the outskirts of the army. Then, considering himself as reborn, the demon, with fear and confusion, went to the king. Seeing the tortured Amitragna, Vidyunmali, the great magician, out of fear transformed himself into an owl and, flying in the sky, surveyed and counted the entire army of Shaktis. While doing so, he was caught by a Shakti who was guarding the sky during night. Immediately he flew 50 yojanas upward and fought with her fiercely. After a long combat, hit by her spear, he somehow escaped and, in the early morning, dropped himself almost dead in front of the Lord of the Demons. Seeing the demon before him, who was heavily injured and about to die, Bhandasura chanted mantras and touched his body, by which he was restored to life and was free from agony. Then he rose and saluted the king of demons, who was in front of him. Questioned by the king, Vidyunmali reported the incidents. Thus, O king, I went from your place along with Amitragna and saw the army of the goddess, which was like an ocean at the time of dissolution. Then Amitragna first entered that army. As I was observing, he was forcibly caught by the Shaktis and surrounded by them like honey by the bees. Immediately the strong Amitragna lost consciousness and was unable to move even, let alone fighting and escaping. I thought that there is no way for his survival. I also, out of fear, started fleeing. But I did not return out of fear and respect to your command. After sunset, I assumed the form of a magical owl and flying above the army had a look at it. That huge frightening army making terrible sounds looked like an agitated ocean on tides at the time of dissolution. The demons would die just by seeing that army. In that army, all the Shaktis are frightening and highly powerful. Each one of them is inclined to fight first. There, the young Vala, the dear daughter of Lalita Ambika, accompanied by myriads of Kumaris, virgins, well equipped and skilled in the art of missiles and weapons, was repeatedly announcing that she will kill the children of Bhandasura. Even the young girls who were anxious to fight were loudly shouting that they will soon destroy the army of the sons of Bhandasura. Next, Sampatkari and Ashwarura, the leaders of the Shaktis, taking their position on either sides of Vala, were controlling innumerable elephants and horses carrying great Shaktis. Then behind Vala, Devi Lalita was seated in the great chariot accompanied by the Shaktis of the nine enclosures, whose might, ferocity, and valor are immeasurable. On either sides of Devi Lalita, Mantrini and Dandini, who are extremely powerful, are positioned in their individual chariots. Mantrini is accompanied by myriad Matanga Kanyakas equaling her valor. The extremely angry Varahi is accompanied by Shaktis and Vatukas, who are fierce looking and have frightening names. In the entire army of the Shaktis, I never found a place where they were not discussing about your death. I am certain that even the insignificant Shakti among them can in no time devastate our entire army. O Demon King, let me report that the army of the Shakti is hundreds, myriads, huge. Among them, every Shakti excels in strength, valor, and prowess, all of us. Saying thus, Vidyunmali bowed with folded hands to the demon king and remained silent in the assembly of demons. End of the 61st chapter of the Mahatmya Khandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam.